guys. Hello once again. It's Mike from Atlanta. A lot of you guys know me or have heard of me, but we may not know each other. But I know a lot of you out there have all kind of different careers, and surely some of you are teachers or work on a board, or that person that I need to get in touch with, has the right connections. If this sounds like you, I would greatly love to hear from you. And as for the rest of you that are not, say, aware of what's going on, people every day deal with the kind of issues that I've dealt with and are dealing with, and most people have no clue as to what extent, to how hard it is, what it takes, being a little more compassionate towards people with problems. Too many people in our area, and still this day, people are mean to one another. They put each other down. It's, the bullying thing is a disgusting thing. But there are kids out there with worse problems. LD, ADD, schizophrenia, bipolar. I know lots and lots of people who deal with this. I'm drawn to them for some reason, You are who you hang out with, so I kind of choose to be, more around people like me that can relate to me, But there's a lot of children out there that are like I was, and they just need some guidance, They just need somebody like me to pull them aside for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? There's things these kids think in their head that's proven fact that I know it all too well. People in my shoes know it all too well. And a good friend of mine, I met this guy online, Ryan Leone, and this guy's brilliant. He's a brilliant artist, right? Well, he really started to open my eyes about a lot of this stuff, a lot of the traits and characteristics that come with ADD are like very, very common. There's a lot of commonality amongst us. We all pretty much have the same kind of psychological chemical makeup, right? And so, it's people like me that can get inside these kids' heads, that knows what they're thinking, knows what they need to hear, knows what'll work, the right thing to say, the right thing not to say, and I'm 48. When I was 15, I don't have a clue, didn't have a clue that what I do now. So I couldn't tell me it was going to be all right. We were going to make it, get through, could raise a family, pay the bills. These are things that I strongly doubted myself at a very young age. It was a very hard thing to deal with. Okay, for those of you that do or don't know and haven't come along this far in my journey, I don't know what all videos some of you guys have seen and not seen. I went to rehab at 15 because I attempted suicide, okay? And told this girl about it, Shelby Helms, and it was a big mistake. I don't want to go into the details right now. It's personal. I've only shared it with a handful of people who know my deal, my story. But long story short, she was in 8th grade. I was in 9th grade. She went to school, told her counselor got in touch with my counselor, I wound up in rehab. It started at 15. I was gone for 6 to 8 months. Came home, bucked bucked the system. They put me back in, came home, bucked the system. That went on, off and on, until all through my teen years. Really more my 15, 16, and 17 is really when I was having trouble with the law. I stayed out of trouble until I was 21. When I was 21, I got in a heap load of trouble several times. And I wind up bailing out on probation, running into my probation officer out in public, just coincidentally, twice. Yes. So when I say, like, people that are like me, we're spiritual beings, we've got a lot of energy in us, we're very in tune with the spiritual realm, the physical realm, the realm of vibrations. Like, I can distinguish shit that it doesn't make sense. You know, you guys would think I'm loony as fuck if I told you some stuff that I know, but it's real. People with our traits, you know, we have gifts that don't make sense, you know. And fortunately, unfortunately, all the great minds of this world had ADD. Edgar Allan Poe, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, the list goes on and on. They all had ADD, but we're all the same. We don't know how to get along with other people. We feel like, you know, we're our own people. We doubt the hell out of ourselves. We have a lot of good and bad in us. So things seem to just come back around to me. Everything I've ever done in my life has come back to me. An example? Let me give you guys some examples, okay? Here's a crazy one. Alright. I went to jail when I was 21. This girl, Natalie, stripper, she left me. I went to boot camp. We were living together, and as soon as I went away, she left me, right? Like a year or so ago, I'm on this guy's post, I'm on this guy's page, my buddy Ryan, and I see a guy he's talking to, and I see he's from Atlanta, and so I asked him, I'm talking to this guy now on the internet, just met him through another guy just over the internet. This guy who I'm talking about lives in, he moved from Atlanta to Colorado. We're in this, this chat room, whatever, the three of us, me, my friend Ryan, and this guy David Black. And I said, I'm from Atlanta. He said, yo, yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Little Five Points. I said, oh, yeah. I said, cool. I said, I used to date a stripper, lived off used to work off Cheshire Bridge, and I worked in Little Five, so, you know, I was pretty sure that when he said Little 5 Points, you know, I spent a lot of time in Atlanta, and we hung out with a lot of groups, and we were at the Masquerade a lot. We hung out with a group. Dick Delicious and Tasty Testicles was my girlfriend's best friend. The girl, what's her name again? Anyways, her boyfriend's the lead singer, Dick Delicious and Tasty Testicles. We used to kick it, Masquerade, right? So me and this guy are talking on the chat room, and I tell him, oh, yeah, I used to date this girl from worked at Cheshire Bridge, and he said something, and then later on, like a couple of months later, come to find out, not only this guy know my girlfriend, know who she was, they're friends. Not only that, this guy was Jody. And for y'all that don't know who Jody is the guy that having your girl when you're away in jail. They call him Jody. In Spanish, he's Sancho. Anyways, he was freaking Jody. He was the one banging my girlfriend while I was in jail. And I just found this out. And didn't want to find out, alright? That's one For instance, let me give you some, I got some good ones. Everything that I've been through, people I've met, always come back around. Always come back around. Like ADD makes us like magnetic for, basically whatever we can conjure up in our heads. Christians call it, God. I'm Jewish. I call it, my spiritual being. But I have a million stories about coincidences, because it's probably the biggest deal I could share with people that I have going on is coincidences. I can't think of any right off the top of my head. That's the main one that I know of. But like I said, I'll meet somebody, I'll run back into them. I'll ask for something, it'll fall in my lap. I'll let you hear it from my wife. She'll tell you the same thing. So my best friend, one of my best friends, Aaron McDowell, like I told some of you, not all of you know, me and my friend Aaron go way back. He was my ADD buddy in high school, okay? I was in LD classes. He was in there with me all through high school, right? After high school, he was in a loony bin with me too, also, like 6 months. When you're not only away in jail with somebody, you become tight. Well, imagine being locked up in a loony bin with your friend, and that's it. That's all you got, and you're stuck there. Well, anyways, Aaron killed himself a month ago, so he lost the battle. I haven't lost the battle. Thank God I've got a better head on my shoulders, but I'm a nutcase. I ain't gonna lie, but I got a head full of bad wires. But I do me. I luckily, thank God, I've always kept a roof over my head, over my wife's head, over my children's head. I've done that for myself. But to me, that's not enough. It was enough a long time. I never thought I could get there, but it's not enough anymore. I just got back on Instagram recently, a couple months ago. Maybe been 2 months, maybe. Anyways, I just looked through my old, my old profile, and there was a few people that I just had to close it down. Okay, me and my wife got in an argument. I just had to close it down. So I hadn't seen this thing in a year or two. Anyways, there's Aaron. The first thing I see when I opened up my new profile is Aaron. And there he is, and I see his face, and it's haunting. Okay, it's haunting. I hope none of you ever have to experience it. Aaron died. There was another buddy of mine on my page, Justin Collier. He's dead now. I spanked my kids with a belt, and I went to jail about 12, 13 years ago, okay? People, spanked my kids with a belt. Put my knee on my stepson's back, because he wasn't going to let me spank him after he told his mom, F you, bitch. So, as I'm spanking him, he rubs his face in the carpet, okay, and gives himself rug burn. So my sister-in-law comes over the next day, sees it, it looks like I've killed the kid. And some crazy shit. So I went to jail, got out, bonded out. My aunt came off my bond. Part of my bond condition was stay away from my wife. I went back to jail. Did 6 months. Had no idea what was going to happen to me for a year. Thought I was going to prison. And so I met this guy, Mike Adams, become best friends, moved in with him. We lived together. We were in jail together for several months. Moved in together, and he got me a job. Worked together, lived together. worked his shit together, and then we moved out, but we still worked together. We were tight. He was my best friend. He wrote me a letter, and it comes at another time when another piece of mail came at the same time while I was in jail. There's one of my coincidences. This story's, I ain't got time for it. Anyways, this guy was my best friend. He died on me. They kept him alive at the hospital for a couple of days, kept his heart hooked up to a machine, so his family had time, his out-of-town family had time to come and say their goodbyes. I get to the hospital when his mom says, go in there and kiss him on the head goodbye. So me and my wife go in there, and he was bald-headed, and I kiss him on the head, and he's already dead. His eyes are open, but he's a goner, no brain activity, and my wife tripped on that one. Those like pictures, like still frames in my head, still haunt me to this day. Still to this day. I watched a guy OD and die in jail while I was in jail on that term. I've been in jail a lot of times, but on that vid, one guy did some cocaine, what do they call it? Chain gang cocaine, which is psych meds. This young 20-year-old kid I was just praying with, and walks away from me, my hand over his shoulder, as we get in group prayer, just saying a prayer for him. He was going home in like 2 weeks, and he dropped dead, and they dragged his dead body into the middle of the hallway, into the middle of the pod, and he was looking up, and I was up on the second tier, and it looked like he was staring at me. Really, if he was alive, he would have been staring at me, and that was freaky. That was freaky. So, I've dealt with some traumatic, very traumatizing shit in my life. So, help me out. Y'all help me get on my journey. Someone like me deserves it. I've worked hard. I do construction. I've been a carpenter for 25 years now. I sweat daily, on the daily, 24/7, okay? If someone deserves to get ahead and be somebody, I deserve it. I've overcome a lot. I've overcome a drug addiction. I've overcome depression, suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideations. I've been through a lot, more than most of you ever could dream of. So, help me, y'all. This is Mike from Atlanta. I am ADD's advocate. I love you all. Thank you.